Welcome everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that has long been overlooked and even stigmatized: men's mental health. The phrase, "men don't cry," is something we've all heard. It's a line straight out of many movies, reinforcing the idea that real men don't show their emotions. Think about the famous line, "Merd ko derd nahi hota" from Bollywood, or even the iconic quote from The Godfather, "Women and children can afford to be careless, but not men." But what happens when society pushes men to keep it all inside? The truth is, mental health issues affect men deeply, but the pressure to appear strong, stoic, and unemotional has been a massive barrier preventing men from seeking help. In this video, we'll break down men's mental health, what it looks like, why it's such a struggle, and how we can work towards healing. What is men's mental health? Mental health refers to our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Men's mental health issues manifest in many ways: depression, anxiety, stress, and even suicidal tendencies. But when we talk about mental health among men, it's important to note a disturbing trend. Studies show that while women are more likely to be diagnosed with mental health conditions, men are 3 to 4 times more likely to die by suicide. According to the World Health Organization, nearly 800,000 people die due to suicide every year, with men accounting for most of these deaths. The stigma surrounding men's mental health is one of the leading causes of these statistics. Phrases like "be a man" or "toughen up" imply that vulnerability is weakness. The problem with these phrases is they create a false narrative, leading men to believe that asking for help is a sign of failure. The struggles men face. Let's get personal. Have you ever felt like you had to handle everything on your own? Maybe it's dealing with financial stress, family responsibilities, or societal expectations. Now multiply that by years of being told you need to be strong and silent. This pressure takes a toll on a man's mental health, often leading to a buildup of emotional distress. A study by the National Institute of Mental Health shows that 6 million men suffer from depression in the United States every year. The issue is, many men don't recognize what depression looks like for them. Symptoms often show up as anger, irritability, or even reckless behavior, rather than the traditional sadness that we commonly associate with depression. In fact, many of us remember the tragic case of Sushant Singh Rajput, an extremely talented actor who seemed to have it all. But behind the fame and success, he was struggling deeply. His death brought the topic of men's mental health into the spotlight, and suddenly, people were talking about the pressures men face in silence. Why don't men speak up? Let's face it, we live in a culture where men are conditioned to hide their emotions. Think about the messages we receive growing up. Boys are told, "Don't cry like a girl," or "Stop being so sensitive." These phrases, though seemingly harmless, instill the idea that men must suppress their feelings. A study published in the American Journal of Men's Health found that 49% of men feel more pressure to hide their emotions than women. And that's not all. Men are also less likely to seek professional help for mental health issues. Only 1/3 of people who seek treatment for depression are men, despite how widespread it is. So why don't men speak up? One reason is fear of judgment. Men fear that they'll be labeled weak or unmanly if they show vulnerability. As a result, they keep their struggles bottled up, leading to bigger problems later on. This fear is compounded by the belief that they must solve problems alone without burdening others. Untreated mental health issues can have devastating consequences, not only for men themselves, but also for their families and communities. Let's take a look at some real-world impacts. Increased substance abuse. Men are more likely to turn to alcohol or drugs as a way of coping with their feelings. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, men are almost twice as likely to develop alcohol dependency compared to women. Violence and aggression. Mental health issues can manifest as anger and aggression in men. Unexpressed emotions may come out in harmful ways, hurting relationships and even leading to domestic violence or crime. Work-related stress. Men who struggle with mental health issues often have a harder time coping with work-related stress. Burnout, inability to focus, and a lack of job satisfaction can result, making it harder to maintain careers. How can we overcome this? The good news is, the narrative is changing. More and more men are speaking out about their struggles and showing that it's okay to not be okay. The first step toward healing is recognizing that mental health is just as important as physical health. Here's what we can do. Breaking the stigma. It all starts with awareness. Let's stop using phrases like "men don't cry" and start normalizing emotional expression in men. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. Celebrities like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who has openly spoken about his battle with depression, are helping to break these barriers. When people in the public eye talk about mental health, it creates a ripple effect that encourages others to do the same. Encouraging professional help. Therapy isn't just for women or the weak, it's for everyone. Whether it's talking to a therapist, a counselor, or joining a support group, seeking help should be encouraged. For example, Prince Harry has spoken extensively about how therapy helped him cope with the loss of his mother, Princess Diana. According to research by the American Psychological Association, men who undergo therapy show significant improvements in their emotional well-being, relationships, and overall life satisfaction. Building strong support networks. Men need strong emotional support systems, whether from friends, family, or partners. Society needs to foster environments where men feel safe sharing their feelings without fear of judgment. It's time we encourage empathy over machismo. Promoting mental health education. Schools, workplaces, and communities should have programs in place that teach people about mental health. Educating men on how to recognize symptoms and giving them tools to cope with stress and anxiety is essential for long-term change. Famous cases, inspiration, and tragedy. Many men in the spotlight have faced mental health challenges, showing us that these issues don't discriminate, no matter your fame, success, or background. Sushant Singh Rajput. A talented actor who tragically took his own life, leaving behind a trail of questions about the pressures of fame, loneliness, and untreated mental health issues. Robin Williams. A comedic genius who brought joy to millions, but battled depression and took his own life. Zayn Malik. Former One Direction member who has been open about his anxiety, showing that even in the world of glamour and fame, mental health struggles persist. These celebrities remind us that no one is immune to mental health issues. They also emphasize the importance of seeking help and speaking out before it's too late. Key takeaways. As we wrap up, let's revisit the most important points from today's discussion. 1. Mental health doesn't discriminate. Whether you're a celebrity, a working professional, or a student, mental health issues can affect anyone. And men are especially vulnerable due to societal pressures. 2. Vulnerability is strength, not weakness. It's time to change the narrative that real men don't cry. Expressing emotions is a sign of strength, and asking for help is a step toward healing. 3. Seek professional help. Therapy, counseling, and support groups can make all the difference. Don't be afraid to take that first step. 4. Break the stigma. Start conversations about mental health, encourage emotional expression, and create a supportive environment for the men in your life. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. In the words of psychologist Brené Brown, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So let's start changing how we think about men's mental health, one conversation at a time. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's okay to not be okay. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out. You're not alone.